I'm still the same old kid, and your jokes still bring me laughter, as if you still were here. And it hurts when I smile, 'cause my heart still remembers when you were around. 'Cause you were there when no one was, just when I thought nobody cared. Now, you showed me love, 'cause you were my friend. You always told me yes, and I am still here because you were there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. So precious, small treasures, a time when truth wasn't rushed. True friendship was all we're after, a place where kids could still be kids. And it hurts, but I'm glad, 'cause at least I was blessed to have you as my friend. 'Cause you were there when no one was, just when I thought nobody cared. No, no, no. You showed me love. You showed me love, 'cause you were my friend. You always told me yes, and I am still here, yes, because you were there. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. Oh, you're my best friend. Yes, there are no accidents. God has a plan for everyone, and He brought you in my life to show me what a good friendship was. 'Cause you were there when no one was. No one was. That nobody cared. Just when I thought that nobody cared. You showed me love. You showed me love. 'Cause you were my friend. You were my friend. You always told me yes. Always told me yes. And I am still here. I'm still here. 'Cause you were there. You were there. You were there. You were there. Oh yeah. 'Cause you were there. You were there. You were there. You were there. Say you were there. 'Cause you were there. You were there. You were there. You were there. Because you were there. Ooh, because you were there.
Cause you were there. Beautifully written, beautifully
Well
sung.
written. I like this.
Yeah, it had a wonderful flow throughout. It connected to each preceding line beautifully. The next line, that is. Wonderfully done, wonderfully orchestrated, wonderfully sung. Sounds like a mini Stevie Wonder in this one.
Yeah.
I remember this guy from Sister Act, if I'm not mistaken.
Babyface.
I think so. It's someone very like him and sounds exactly like him, like what he sounded here.
Okay.
In Sister Act 2,
Okay.
Part 2. So, Sister Act. I'm not sure.
Sister.
But anyway,
Yeah, I think.
the Whoopi Goldberg movie,
Yeah, yeah.
to put it better for you to understand. Anyway, the wow, it was well sung, well sung. He has got a really good voice, and for once, for a change in this genre, you find someone who actually has a well-written song to sing.
Yes.
The songwriter is Kenneth Edmonds. I'm not sure if this is the real name of Babyface or not, but Kenneth Edmonds wrote this song like a poetry. It sounded like a poem. It just was so beautiful. Coming to the lines of the song, where often, the ones that have beautiful, long-lasting relationships, and I've studied a lot of them because of my profession of being a counselor mainly, marital counselor, marriage counselor, call it what you will, relationship counselor. Very often, if I studied and observed silently as a counselor, the relationships that lasted, and one of the pivotal reasons that relationships didn't last, very often it was boiled down to the lines of this song. It was always someone who was there when no one else was. So, you like to be with that person who was there for you when no one else was there. Many, many, many relationships I've seen, not just my own family, which have lasted for till they died, till one of the partners died. I've noticed it's always been because that person has been there when no one else was there for them. So that mattered more than everything else. You can call it love, you can call it the presence of the person, you can call it whatever you will, friendship, but it goes beyond that because it's something that is very rare in today's world. In the last 10 years, I've been counseling for more than 20 years now, teaching counseling for a good number of years too, 17, 18 years now, of teaching counseling to hundreds of people from all over the world. I've noticed in the last 10 years or so, it's very rare to come across someone like this. Very rare to come across someone who's actually there for you and no one else is. Because of, I don't want to put the blame solely on media or social media, though it definitely is a big factor in the last 10 years, which is controlling a large part of our lives and our time. So in today's world with social media and everything, you very rarely come across someone who will stand up for you or be there for you. Forget about standing up for you. Being there for you when the whole world isn't. The rest of the world isn't. Very rare to come across someone like that. And if you do have someone like that, it probably is your pet dog. So it's that rare in today's world. So they say the dog is a man's best friend. It is because of this reason. Because a dog, a cat will be there with you no matter what you're going through in life. You may be suffering from cancer, you may be dying of cancer, you may be dying of Alzheimer's, suffering from Alzheimer's, you may be having depression, you may be having a mental disorder, you may be struggling with money, debt problems. You may also be going through a breakup or just found out your husband or wife is cheating on you. So whatever the reason, you can definitely, the cat, the dog is always there for you. So, and your pet fish, they're always there in their tank, right? But it's very rare to come across a person who will be there, a human being in the flesh who will be there for you as a friend, as a partner, as a sibling, as a parent. That's why they say a mother and father, especially a mother. You won't find someone like a mother, a good mother, that is, at least. We go to a part of the world, and this song probably comes from a part of the world where there are very few good mothers. But the rest of the world has a lot of good mothers. So, when you have a good mother, the mother definitely, there's no one who can match a mother's love, a mother's presence in your life. I remember my mother always there, as long as she was alive. If I wasn't there, that's a different story for her. But she was always there, no matter what. And that is, there are many mothers like mine. I'm not that I'm boasting about my mother being so good and all. In our part of the world, most mothers are like my mother. Obviously for me, my mother will obviously be more special than everyone else's mother. But the fact is that, motherly love, motherly presence, we take it for granted in today's world. Even fatherly love, when it's right. Again, I'm going to a part of the world where very rare to come across a good father. So, and I know what I'm talking about. People say you don't know. I know more than you guys possibly. So, fact is, this is a beautiful song, well written, well sung by Babyface, and well written, beautifully written by Kenneth Edmonds. I don't think I would have the same experience of such a song if it wasn't for the songwriting.
Yes.
And I'll be very honest about that. I'm pretty sure there will come a time where I will listen to a very crappy song by the same artist. So it all boils down to good lyrics.
It does.
Great music, good lyrics. You can have great lyrics also, but that's extremely rare. It's even more rare than having a good mother in your part of the world. So anyway, what are your thoughts, Kirti?
You know, when we are talking about lyrics and why songs are better and not, I will tell you a stark difference. Eastern music does not depend that much on lyrics. The music itself, the vibrations itself are so profound, and they are designed in a way that you don't need anything to go with it. You will just listen to it and it will do the wonders, because it is designed that way. It is designed with the airwaves and everything considering. It was intelligent, intellectual design to the music itself. Every instrument, the way they would.
It's also
work and
passion, I
everything.
think. It's also your love
you know,
for the
we
craft
call
of creating music.
Tarangs are the waves, airwaves that are, the waves of the sound that work with people, and it works wonders. You don't even know how it works, but it works. And people from anywhere in the world, from different cultures, they can vouch for it that it works, whether they understand a thing or not, but the music will work on them. But with Western music, it is derived by the lyrics, because otherwise music is the same.
Very rarely you come across good music.
Yeah,
music.
It's rare. Orchestra, of course, it's a different thing, but it's rare to listen to music or
in
a
popular
vocalist.
genres. We can say in
Or a
popular
vocal-
genres,
in popular genre.
great music is very, very rare to come by in the West.
And vocalist could be anyone if the lines were great. You can take example of all of the rock bands, and vocalists could sound as mediocre as they could, but they had great lyrics, and that is why they made their careers. Not because they had amazing voices. Very few vocalists were actually gifted with amazing voices, and of course the lyrics and the music and the band, everything worked for them. But in most cases, I would say the voices, the lead vocalist of the biggest of the rock bands have been quite, mediocre. Their voices would tear. They had Osley voices, but they still did well because their lyrics were very, very powerful. And that's what hit hard for people. That's what connected with people. That's what made people return to them again and again. So when we talk about lyrics and the importance of lyrics, this is where it ends. Babyface, as Savi said, maybe next time we will hear something and that would be below mediocre. I mean, I have no doubt. But this song and the way it went, I love the way it goes with the lines. It's beautifully written. There is poetry and there is the magic of the poetry. That's what it was all about for me. From the beginning to the end, each line, it hits hard. It's written so simplistically. Kenneth Edmonds, I would have to congratulate him for writing things so beautifully and so simplistic, in a simplistic manner. Each word is not very heavy. In English, you can use heavy duty words and make things sound a little bit more complicated, but he kept it extremely basic, extremely simple, and it is so wonderful that even a 4-year-old will listen to it and he will understand, yes, what it is talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I love this line.
A 4-year-old will understand the line.
I must interject here. I must mention this line. There are no accidents. God has a plan for everyone. I mean, that is a biblical line in this song of Babyface. It's a biblical line. I think I'll go through possibly 500 songs of the West and I'll get only one song which has a line like that. And I'm not mincing my words. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. Literally, you give me 500 songs and I'm talking 500 songs collectively. Don't give me the 500 best songs you have. But if you take the average songs in the West, 500 of them, very early in one song you'll find a line like that. There are no accidents. God has a plan for everyone. It's like a dialogue in a movie, a big movie. Recently, I watched a wonderful movie. And I must take time to talk about it because I connected with that movie very closely. The movie's name is The Whale.
I knew you were coming to that.
And in that there's a beautiful dialogue or two which I connected with wholeheartedly, because I also believe that somewhere deep down, even though I know somewhere deep down that it's not true, but somewhere deep down I also believe that dialogue. People are wonderful. People are beautiful. People are absolutely amazing. The dialogue goes like, people are amazing, if I'm not mistaken. But that's how I also feel. But it's very difficult to feel that way in the world we live in today. People are amazing. So that's a beautiful movie. After a very long time, literally after a very long time, I came across a couple of good movies coming out of Hollywood, out of America. Very, very long time. One of them was this movie called Plane. It's a totally different script, totally different thing, more action. But that is a very well made movie that's come out of Hollywood in recent years. The last 10-15 years, one of those rare movies which is good.
Which one?
And then The Whale.
Did I see?
Plane. And then The Whale. Short names, but wow, they were both impactful in different ways. So this is that kind of a song. Just for that wonderful line, God has a plan for everyone. There are no accidents. God has a plan for everyone. You'll listen to 500 songs, maybe 1,000 songs, and you'll only find one which has a line like that. Now I'm sure Weeknd and Taylor Swift and all those losers that come out of the West, I'm sure they'll pick up on this and they will also write this line in a different way on the next album. I can almost guarantee it. That's how they are.
That is all from both of us for this reaction. Thank you.